we've been on YouTube for a month now, putting daily videos up. We've been putting podcasts out once a week. And Bonnie's been doing worship for the last 2 weeks. You've done one a week, which is your plan.
Yeah.
And so after 1 week, we did what we've learned after a week of being on YouTube. Now we're doing what we've learned after a month of being on YouTube every day. Every day, bro. What's the biggest thing you've learned for the last month, once?
I've learned about the video program, DaVinci.
Hey.
And for me, that's a huge achievement because I've seen Sean, you've used it for years and years.
Yeah.
And you make it look easy.
No.
So when I used it, I spent a good couple of hours on a terrible computer trying to edit my song.
Yeah.
But I loved it. And for me, it was a conquering moment because often those kind of things overwhelm me and then I just give up. So for me, it was a huge achievement, which makes me feel excited for more editing to come.
So after a month of being in YouTube, you've been in an environment where you've had to start to produce more. And so you've challenged yourself, or you've been in a challenging environment that's made you improve and learn and grow and stretch and fail.
Good summary, yeah. Because also I've set myself a challenge to do one song a week.
Yeah.
Which then I'm having to edit, I'm having to set up the lighting. I'm learning each week, trying to change things. So that's been great.
Yeah.
I love that learning process.
I think one of the things that I didn't realize is how much time it goes into recording and setting up and pre-production and then the editing and the upload and thumbnails and all of that. And we haven't put the maximum effort in. We've put pretty much the minimum effort in with little improvements every day. And I didn't realize we're spending 2 hours a day on this.
At least.
The podcast stuff, which is once a week, it takes a lot more time. Fortunately, both Jade and I are editing that. We've shared it out. John's also been involved in that. But it takes a lot of time. So the idea of just doing a quick vlog, I don't know if it exists. At least it doesn't exist in the form. The other thing that I've learned is that you can't just come to the camera and speak off the cuff. You've got to have some content and you've got to shape that content. I think a few of the others, which you're going to watch in a moment, who are going to talk about what they've learned, have said that it's quite daunting to be in front of a lens. And so by having something that's shaped and maybe not every word is placed, but the idea, the frame is there, is very, very helpful. There's been a few times I've recorded things just personally that I've completely scrapped because when I've watched it back, I've gone around in circles or I've repeated myself too much.
Yeah, we didn't want to bore you.
Yeah, I was bored watching it. But I think also we're trying to be more natural and real. And so we haven't edited out all the ums and the ahs. That is terrible watching that. And I didn't realize how much I ummed and ahed and took pauses.
I'm not in my head all the time.
So I've noticed even in everyday conversation, the way that I respond to people audibly is much less because I'm thinking about production, I'm thinking about cameras. And so I don't want to go, yes, 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 because in the background, when you're watching someone else speak, you've got this yes, 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 you don't have a context for it.
Well, that makes sense now why you're not talking much to me.
No, I just don't talk to you because I like you. No. So I think in the last month, we've learned a lot of technical knowledge. We've improved in some technical stuff. But I think also public speaking, although it's not public, it's to a camera, it's a different medium for the same substance. Yeah. So I've learned a little bit. Hopefully I've improved. I still stutter and struggle to find the right words sometimes, but I think that's improved. Yeah. What has been the worst thing about this?
I think I'm not a person of many words, so when I don't have a lot of content, I struggle. And often we'll be having a conversation and then Sean will make a gap for me and then I go completely blank in my brain. So that's why it's been important to have a bit of content before. Because that pressure, I mean, you wouldn't think it's a pressure, the camera in front of you, because it's not like you can go and edit it afterwards and it's not like you're live. But for some reason, my brain goes blank.
I think having the daily challenge, and we've challenged ourselves to put something up every single day, means that when we don't feel that it's good enough, or there's
Sammy doesn't feel it's good enough.
Or when we think that there's no value, we still have to put something up. Yeah. And so for me, that's helped, even when there's gaps and we haven't got the best thing and we haven't said the thing the best,
Yeah.
it's worth just putting it up anyway because we're fulfilling the constraint we put on ourselves to put something up daily.
But also we're trying to be real as well. We're not trying to have this polished, clean. We're trying to be who we are as well.
Yeah.
That's not perfection.
What?
Well, maybe me, but...
Where do you think we'll be in a year's time?
Famous? No, I'm kidding. Hopefully we got a variety of different video types. So at the moment we've got 3 types. Hopefully variety, I think. And different styles would be good. We talked about going on the street, talked about interviewing random people. I don't know, what do you think?
I think having the opportunity to speak daily and putting yourself under that pressure means that we're developing, we're growing, not just in technically, but in front of the camera too. Hey, excuse me, we're trying to talk over here. This is not your show. We just got rid of Sammy permanently. Bye, Sammy. Hope you're watching this in 20 years' time. No, I'm good. Jaden's just taking him. So I think putting ourselves under pressure and putting that constraint on ourselves to produce something every day has helped me personally to get over some sort of perfectionistic idea. Yeah. I don't really care about my appearance that much. I don't really care a lot about what people think about me for the most part. But when I produce something, I like it to be good. I like it to be perfect. And so having a constraint where my perfection is met in getting something up every day, it's not about the quality of it, has meant that I've sort of forced myself to overcome some of the other perfection problems that I have. Because not much of my life, or if anything, is perfect. Except you, darling. So I think that's been really good. I think in a year's time, what I'd like to see is I don't really care about the variety of content. That doesn't matter too much to me. What I'd like to see is a cleaner workflow. I'd like to see more substance, more shaped substance in what we say. And I'd like to see more community involvement.
Makes it more interesting, right?
Absolutely.
Everyone's got their experience and their journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Come and get involved.
Like, share, comment below. Get the merch, sign up. Get a newsletter, we'll fax you. So I hope you've enjoyed the month so far. We are going to keep on doing this every day. It might change form, it might change the content, but we have grown so much and the challenge has been really enjoyable. So if we can just encourage you, challenge yourself. It doesn't have to be YouTube, it doesn't have to be videos, but if it's art and craft, make sure you produce a little thing or a little part of something every day. Give yourself that challenge. If it's about fitness, make sure you do 1 extra press up or whatever the context is. If it's about challenging yourself, I remember Priscilla last year, she said every Sunday she wanted to greet a new person every single week. Speak to someone she's never spoken to. Challenge yourself in little increments and you'll see big changes over time. Yeah. And if you try and do the big thing without the little increments, you'll never get there. You'll never cross any thresholds. You'll never produce anything. You're waiting for the big payday. No, get a little bit of payday every single day. It's every day, bro.
Every day.
We hope you enjoy a little bit more from the family about this journey for the last month. And in a year's time, I hope we've hit every single day too. Yeah. What have you observed? What have you seen? What have you enjoyed for the last month?
Well, as a observer of the podcast over the last month, it's really weird to see people you know on YouTube. It's also very familiar. And the thing that I'm impressed with is the quality of the production. As a person in front of the camera, it's a very interesting thing to be filmed because you are on the spot. You need to come up with something like I'm doing right now, and you also need to say something. You feel the need to say something meaningful at every moment, and it just doesn't feel natural when you start.
I've enjoyed trying out being in front of the camera for pretty much the first time, or at least the first time in a long time. And yeah, it's been a good exercise to see what that's like, and to share on camera is quite interesting. So yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to more. Sean and Bonnie's bloopers are quite good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's try to find that.
All right.
That's great.
Sammy's the best thing.
Sammy is the funniest thing. It's interesting watching yourself on camera and learning like about what other people see, like what's going on in your head and what's happening from the outside. I think it's quite interesting and what to kind of be aware of. But
Yeah, for me, it's also being in front of camera, being ready at any moment to say something that's important to you. Very often in life, you're listening to what's important to other people, but actually getting an opportunity to say what you think is important shows you where your value system is, where your treasure is. It's a very good experiment to just even, be put on the spot and say, well, what do you really think? And it's a healthy pursuit.
yeah, it's also a challenge in learning how to talk. I mean, I know we all talk, but in front of the camera, you have to be way more.
You don't have any problem with that.
No, you have to be way more aware of how you speak and putting ideas together and expressing your ideas. I think it's a good thing to learn. It's a good way to practice good conversation.
Yeah. Well, I'd like it to go towards sponsorship, merch, some collaboration with some famous YouTubers. I mean, this is going to be a going concern.
And we're going to get really rich in the process.
For the whole month, I enjoy Bonnie's songs the most. It's just something different, and I do enjoy the daily encouragement for like a small dose of Christian background, because I know most of you are from a Christian perspective to talk about things. I enjoy listening to story the most, like testimony. So yeah, I think that's an easier way for me to take something out of it. And I think most of the things are really amazing, and in that storytelling way, it's more easy to understand the message they want to deliver. Yeah.
We're fighting a fight of faith, and it's a daily battle, so it's good to think about these things daily and remind yourself how good God is. So I've enjoyed it on a personal, spiritual level, and just to see the family as they are. So in the future, you'll be able to look back and see Sammy giving you a hard time. It's great.
The thing that I've loved the most about it is just seeing the kids every day, sharing stuff that they've learnt and that they know, and to see that all the seed that we've sown is bearing fruit, and they've gone beyond where we'd ever expected or anything like that. And that's just the most wonderful thing, is to see our kids moving forward.
It'll be good in a year's time to look back to see how people have changed, especially the kids, because they change a lot.
Yeah.
Sammy will be toddling, talking, pulling his dad's beard. It'd be fantastic. And then to look back when he was little, and the boys, how they've grown as well.
The highlight for us, which is really silly but just made us laugh, we actually had to stop the video and just laugh, was the very first Whaleys podcast you did, and it was Esther and Seamus, and Seamus spoke, and then Esther was her turn and she went, hello. That was really funny.
Yeah.
That was very funny. I want to see lots more of that kind of thing, because this family does laugh a lot.
Yes.
And it'd be nice to see that coming through.